Hello everyone, welcome to the J-Hook Crochet Yarniversity. I am Reggie and I am very happy that you are all here today with me. I already see some people in the chat. Hello Catherine. Catherine is my moderator. She is also one of our members. If you don't know about channel membership, right next to the subscription button below, you will find a button that says join. And if you press that button, you can join our channel membership. If you press the button, you will get a whole rundown of what it takes and what it means to be a channel member. And then you can decide if you want to join and what level you want to join. Members of the channel, you can see them in the chat in green, and they have a little symbol next to their name showing how long they've been a member. That symbol changes color with time. So hello to Catherine and hello to Crafty Chats and Tanya from New Zealand. Good morning to you. And hello Debbie, good morning. And Denise is here and Linda and Taurus Star is here and Pastel Dreams. So hello to you all. It is actually evening here where I am. So good evening to you all. I live in Germany, for those of you who do not know, and I hold these Yarniversity lessons once a week on Sundays. So if you're new here, please don't forget to hit the like button when you come in the door. And if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, I would very much appreciate it if you consider subscribing. And of course, check out our membership program. I always like to begin by welcoming new members who joined the membership program over the past week, but this past week we don't have members who joined. We have one member who upgraded to a higher level of membership, so congratulations to you. You know who you are, and thank you for your support. I do want to thank people who bought patterns off of the Etsy shop in the past week. We had a few purchases of patterns from the Etsy shop. The link to my Etsy shop is always in the description box below the video, as well as all my social media links and everything else. On the Teespring shop and the Redbubble shop, you will find Yarniversity merch. If you're interested, you can take a look in there. And of course, if you are a part of the membership program, there's a special code for members that will give you 20% off. But if not, then there is a special code for viewers of the channel that works on the Etsy shop only, and that is in the description box as well, so you can use that discount to purchase anything off of my Etsy store. I also got messages from some people who ordered stitch markers from me a few weeks back that they got them, and I was very happy to see pictures of the stitch markers in their new home. So thank you for mailing me those pictures, and thank you for everyone who posted pictures of different things that they bought off of me on Instagram as well as Facebook. I very much appreciate all of your support, and that that brings new people into the channel. And as you all know, I say that every week, everything that I make off of the channel, from people becoming members, or from super chat during live streams, or from purchases on the Etsy shop, Teespring, as well as Redbubble, all of these incomes are going back into the channel. So this is what allows me to bring you guys more valuable content, and I don't leave off of it. So all of this is used to support the channel, so I very, very much appreciate all of that. And I just wanted to say thank you for those of you who supported me during the past week since the last Yarniversity. Hello, Kim. Thank you for joining, Kim. This is your very last warning. Today is the very last day to enter into the Vestuary Vest Fest, and if you do not post your vest today, you are not in. Hello, Sandy. Good to see you here. Sandy from Left to Right Crochet. Welcome, and hello to the Rose Cottage studio. Happy Sunday to you in Pennsylvania. And hello, Julie, welcome. She is watching ads, so maybe you will see me say welcome when you come in. All right, for those of you who watch the ads, that helps as well for all of our channels who are monetized. The minute you watch the ads, that helps us a lot. So today we have a very interesting subject. Interesting in my opinion, but before I introduce the subject, I will say one more time, please don't forget to hit the like button on your way in, and if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, I would very much appreciate it if you all consider subscribing. Okay, so today's subject is history. Now, why am I making this face? I must admit that when I was in school, history was my second least favorite subject. Math was my least favorite subject, but history was the second least favorite. Actually, when I was in 10th grade, I altogether stopped going to history lessons. I decided I'm just not learning that anymore. And I took my final exam at the end by literally guessing my way through half of it, and sort of like fairly roughing through the books 2 days before the exam for the other half. So yeah, I barely passed. I really did not like history back then. However, here we are today, and at this day and age, in this state of my life, history is actually my most favorite subject. Math is still my least favorite subject though. But history did advance a lot in my scale of likings and have worked its way all the way to the top. Nowadays, I very much enjoy reading about history, watching documentaries. One of my all-time favorite shows to watch is actually a documentary historical show that's German. And I don't watch a lot of TV in German, but that specific one I do watch each and every episode. And actually I did do a little marathon this morning when I had a little bit of time. I watched like 3 or 4 episodes one after the other while crocheting, which was very fun. So yes, this was my personal, opinion of history. It did change throughout the years. So right now, history is something that I very, very much like to get into. And I must say, preparing this specific Yarniversity episode or lesson gave me great joy. I see Hopeful Crafts, Hope Mahoney. Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. And me, my hook, and I. Welcome. That's a cool name. And hello, Jamie. She loves history. So excited about today's subject. I gotta tell you all that Jamie did surprise me this week when she wrote me that she actually got some bison yarn ordered following our past Yarniversity lesson. So I'm very much looking forward to her telling us what it's like when she gets it. It's gonna be a few months for, as far as I understood. We spoke about how bison fiber is being collected, so it's gonna be a while before they collect it in the spring and until it can be made into fiber. But I would really much look forward to hearing from her once she has it. Catherine says, math, science, history, unraveling the mystery. Catherine and I are two peas in pods. Big Bang Theory, totally my show. We were actually talking about Big Bang Theory this week, didn't we, Catherine? And everyone saying hi to everyone. And Debbie says she likes history now too, but always loved math. And the older you get, the more history has piqued my interest. Yeah, I have a feeling that happens to everyone. Hello, Lashira. Hi, neighbor. Welcome. And Christy's Creations, good day to you. And Anvita is here. Hello, always happy to see you here. And hello, Cheryl. Yeah, history. Hi, Christy. Hello, Christy. So welcome, everyone. I'm very, very happy to see such a big turnout today. I wasn't 100% sure about this specific subject, if people would be interested or not, and I'm happy to see that you are. Jamie says, yes, Reggie, I should have my bison skein by May or June. I'm most curious about how the fiber will smell. Me too. Let us know. So I'm happy that you guys all think that this is an interesting subject, and I hope that we will have fun today with it. One last thing before I begin, I wanted to let you guys or remind you all, because you guys said that I should always remind in the beginning, that if you have not yet gone back to last week's Yarniversity and commented answering the question that I asked, because this time I did ask something specific. So answer the question that I asked during the Yarniversity last week in the comments to enter for the giveaway, and we will choose the giveaway winner at the end of today's class. So if you have not yet done that, don't close this window so that you won't miss anything. Open another tab and go back to last week's Yarniversity and comment to enter into the giveaway. And I promised you guys that I'm going to remind you all in the beginning of Yarniversity now, so I have done that, and I hope that this helped everyone who was here last week and forgot to come back and comment. I will also show you real quick what will be in today's giveaway, which the winner for will be chosen next week, but we will do that in a little bit. I don't want to mix you guys all up with that. Hello, Mary. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today. Okay, so I want to say a few things before we start talking about specific history facts. And while going through the subject or doing research for today's Yarniversity, I've came across a bundle of information, an abundance of information. However, all resources that I could find in books and on the internet all state the fact that there is no real one truth or one conception in the crochet world as for where did crochet begin. There are many different theories of how it started in one place and traveled to another, but all evidence sort of show that it kind of like started all over the place and evolved into what it is today by the merging of the different fiber arts from different places. So the more the trade routes around the world grew, the more the different culture mixed one into the other until it formed into what we know as crochet today. So I thought that you can all, go online and just research or write into Google crochet history, and you will get that rundown. And I thought it would be more interesting to do a history lesson that's not just the dry facts or the things that you can find anywhere else. I mean, you don't need me to sit here and tell you that, right? And you guys know how I like to do things differently and how I like to put valuable content out there, not something that you see everywhere else. So I did a few, I took my research a little further, and I also kind of like changed my agenda slightly and decided that we are going to do a history lessons, but our history lesson is going to be crochet history highlights. Because there are so many articles and researches that have been written about the origins of crochet as a fiber art. But I personally am less interested in how it all started and more interested in how it developed over the years and how it was influenced by other historical events or other historical characters through the course of time. So if you are interested in that kind of crochet history rundown, then stay with me, and that's what we are going to do today. So you guys will tell me if you think that my take is a little less dry than the take you maybe have expected when you saw the title for today's Yarniversity lesson. And while you guys all tell me if you're ready to begin and if you are interested in the subject, I will let you all know that if in any way you want to save today's information, or if at any point in time today during the Yarniversity lesson you have to step away, go, you can't stay, it's too late, it's too early, I don't know, or if you come in late, don't worry. Once again, I did my homework this week and all of today's information is already on the blog. You can find a link to the blog post in the description box below this video. So if at any point you cannot continue watching, or if you're just tired of my voice and prefer to read this in a written form, then everything is already on the blog. And I would very much appreciate if even if you do stay through the lesson and watch the whole lesson from beginning to end, I would still very much appreciate it if afterwards you would go on the blog and let me know if you like the lesson, if you like the content. It helps a lot when there are views on there as well. I do not expect anyone to do anything special for me, but I would very much appreciate it if you have the time just to do that one click and go over there and leave a short message of this was a great class or something of a sort, the same as you do on the video. All right, so Catherine says she's ready, Professor, and Joyce is excited to hear about the lesson, to hear the lesson, and Hope is ready, and so good. Thank you, Debbie. And Tanya says, let's go. And Chrissy says she can't wait for a story how crochet saved the world. Yes, it actually did at some point. So I'm just gonna take a sip. Cheers to you all, and thank you for being here. And we are going to begin. So we actually begin in the roots of handmade lace making. Because the first form of crochet in the Western world, or the first known appearance of crochet in the Western world, was in the form of crocheted lace. And all evidence show that crochet at its early stages was mainly used to make different kinds of lace work. Now, in the 16th century, Italy was the force. It was known as the how do you say? Oh, come on. I know the word in 2 different languages, and the third language, the one I'm trying to speak, is escaping me. So it was Italy was the leading force in the handmade lace work. And back then in Italy, it was actually known as nun's work or nun's lace, and it was mainly made in monastery and convoys for users in church textiles, but they also, of course, exported it to use for the different noble and royal families of Europe, because specifically Venetian lace was considered very, very high end. It was all handmade at the time. Remember, this is before the world went industrial, and these kind of lace work took ages to make, were very, very delicate, and of course spoke to the high society of Europe at the time. This form of lace making then migrated or was imported from Italy to France. How it migrated from Italy to France? With the help of King Louis XIV. Now, at the time, most of the lace was imported from Italy, and concerned with the overflow of money, the king's finance minister banned its importing and decided to do something different. Instead of importing something that costs so much, he decided to, manufacture it in-house. That's just common financial sense, right? So what did he do? He brought skilled teachers from Venice to Normandy to teach the locals how to create handmade lace. Now, this form of collage between the Venetian lace and the French culture gave birth to a new form called the Point de France. France then rose to fame as the producer of the world's finest handmade lace, which was often referred to as the lace of queens. Now, this is a form of lace that I would like to show you some pictures, so excuse me for 1 second. I forgot to pull out the pictures. All right, there it is. All right, can you guys all see that? I think you can see it. So this is what this collage between the Venetian teachers and the French style brought to the world. This very, very delicate handmade crochet lace that was very, very high end. Yes, Catherine, thank you. It was the capital. Oh my God. I'm sorry that I'm not looking at, I should have looked at the chat while I was talking, but it's very hard for me to do both. You guys know that. So sorry I missed that, but I did mean that Italy was the capital of the world in terms of lace at the time. But we are now in France, and look at this beautiful piece. So what we see here is actually Argentine lace, or in France, point d'Argentin. Point d'Argentin. I do not speak French, so please excuse me. So we did say that this collage between the two cultures gave birth to this brand new form of lace making, which was known as the Point de France, or Point de Françon. I'm just going to stop trying to do that because I really have no idea how to pronounce it. So Point d'Argentin is actually a specific form of this lace making that was made in a monastery in the village of Argentan. Now, during the 19th century, many of Normandy's lace artisans, which, as we remember, studied this form from the Venetian teachers, they were killed or they fled France. Yet the craft was preserved with a lace-making school at a Benedictine monastery in the village of Argentan. In this village, a secluded cluster of French nuns, they continue making it in the old way to this day. And although running a needle lace atelier is not profitable, the sisters are determined to preserve this old and delicate tradition. So they're actually not making it to sustain themselves or to make money. They are making it to sustain this tradition and in honor of the history of this lace or crochet lace making from, the 18th century. So this fragment that you see here, this is Argentan lace. It is a very, very fine crochet needle lace. It was named after the local town that, as I explained to you, where this cluster is. This lace, this Point d'Argentin, it was It was a favorite of the French court. I have explained to you guys that at the time, only high society could afford this kind of product. And in fact, in 1760, it was used for Queen Charlotte's wedding train. So the queen actually got married in a dress which was made using crocheted lace from the village of Argentan. Isn't that interesting? I will show you another picture. Look at that. What do you think of this? Isn't this beautiful? This is all handmade. Just think how many hours it takes to make something like that. That's incredible work. Hi Brenda, thank you for joining. Yes, that is crochet, and it is tiny, 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 tiny work, and they work with a tiny, 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 tiny needle, and it's unbelievable. Hi Hi, Lori. Thank you for joining. Welcome. Hello, Angela. High society like Queen Victoria and her affection for Irish lace. Yes, we'll actually get to Irish lace in just a second. Do you know if knitters could do anything this detailed lace at the time? I have no idea. I did not look into knitting at that point of time, but I would assume that it was pretty much preserved to fine needlework and crochet at the time. Yes, that is. I do think that this is stunning and unbelievable work, and anyone who spends hours and think about it, they did not have that technology that today we still use a very simple hook to make crochet, but they did not have the ability to do things the way we do today. They did not have, all the resources that we have today. They would have to sit for hours and hours outside to use daylight, to do this kind of things. And I think it's unbelievable. Hello, Mary Bell. Yes, they must have had amazing eyesight. I agree. Lori saying her eyes are crossing and aching just looking at that lace. Yeah. Hello, Elisa. Welcome. So we are looking at this beautiful piece of handmade crochet lace from the village of Argentan in France, where first evidence of handmade crochet lace in Europe were actually we did say that it all began in Venice, but this specific pattern that we are looking at resides in France. Yes, the person designed it is remarkable. I agree. So the amount of work that it took to make something like this, you can all imagine, and then, therefore it could only be afforded by the richest society of Europe at the time. Yeah, and this concludes our first section of the roots, the roots of hand making or hand crocheted lace. Somewhere in the early 18th century, collage between Italy and France. However, again, I do want to say, disclaimer, this is just to our topic. There is no evidence or no hard evidence of where crochet actually originated, and this collage between different cultures who did different needleworks that gave birth to crochet as we know it today. There were a lot of stops during that evolution, so there's no one distinctive place where you can say it originated there, or at least not one that all historians can agree on. So don't think that this story is the origin of crochet as a whole. I did explain it in the beginning. I am talking about highlights in crochet history, and this is not a rundown of from the beginning of time until today. To everyone who are just joining us now, we just finished the first section. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, I would very much appreciate it if you consider subscribing. And don't forget to go back to last week's Yarniversity. If you were here, I asked a specific question during last week's Yarniversity, and don't forget to answer in the comments to enter into the giveaway, and I will pull the winner at the end of today's live chat. Artwork Inner. How did the Portuguese get to crochet? They have exceptional skills. Specifically the Portuguese, I have no idea how they specifically. I do believe that, it spread all around Europe at the time. It did we are talking, it did sort of begin in Europe, or it sprung in Europe as a form of lace making, and from there it had advanced. Some countries today are still, you know, the fashion or the majority of crocheters still crochet very, very delicate things. It's more of like, you know, the norm or the fashion of a certain country. But how specific countries, that might be an idea for another for another live chat. Maybe we'll do geography next. We did math, we did history. Yeah, geography is the direction to go. Crafty said the person who designed was a genius and probably pure evil. It looks like a torture to make. Yeah. All right, well, are you guys ready for the next highlight on our timeline? Cheers, you all. I am just trying to pull out the pictures earlier this time so that I don't have to stop in the middle. All right. So, for our next highlight, I thought we would talk about how crochet lacework saved the Irish people. Someone said in the chat before they want to hear about how crochet saved the world. Well, at some point in time, it sort of did. In the mid-19th century, actually, the Irish people were suffering tremendously of the potato famine. That was a very hard time for the Irish economy, which was, you know, mainly, and still is to this day, I think, based on potato farming. And some people or some families and farmers were actually on dire straits, on the verge of hunger, and enter Eleonora Riego de la Branchandière. Again, names of people at the time kill me. This young talented lady is a name that some of you may already know if you have looked into the history of crochet. Maybe you even have some of her books, because some of her books are classics. And she published her very first book in 1846, and she was only 18 at the time. Her book was titled Knitting, Crochet, and Netting, and it revolutionized the world of crochet at the time. At the same time, it also influenced the fashion of the entire Victorian era. This was a groundbreaking book. It was the first of a total of 72 books that she wrote. She was a very, very skilled designer who was best known for her ability to take old-style needle and bobbin lace design and turn them into crochet patterns that could easily be duplicated by anyone who could crochet. Following her book, Irish men and women, and sometimes even children, were able to create in-demand fashion for England's ladies, which proved a reliable source of income for many Irish families during the harsh crisis. Irish workers were organized into crochet cooperatives. Schools were formed to teach those skills. There were teachers trained teachers who were sent all over Ireland just to teach people to crochet lace, following her books and her designs. And before you knew it, the workers were already creating new patterns of their own. The Irish economy survived due to this unexpected turn of events. And in fact, to this day, lacework crochet is best known worldwide as Irish crochet. And I will show you some interesting pieces. So that's not that. This, let me make it a little smaller so you guys can see it. So this is a fragment of original Irish crocheted lace. This specific piece, you can see it in the Lace Museum. I'm very happy you're enjoying that lesson. Do you know about the Irish potato famine? Jamie says she asked mom to listen in. She interprets French to English and vice versa. She told me to tell you that your pronunciation of French word, you had most of them spot on. Oh! Thank you. I practiced. I tried. AKA the Great Hunger. Yes. Woohoo, go Irish. Madonna. And hi, Madonna. Good morning, Angie. Yeah, so here you can see a piece of original crocheted Irish lace. It's okay, Lacey, you didn't miss a lot. We are only at the second section. And as I've said, all this information is already on the blog. So like, you know, I told everyone, if you guys are at any point tired of my voice, don't want to listen anymore, have to go somewhere, came in late, you can always go on the blog and find all the written information. And if you would like, you can always come back and watch the replay. I always appreciate it. So this beautiful piece in front of you is Irish lace, and I wanted to show you one more. So this one's gonna disappear for a second. And look at this beauty. Look at that. This is a blouse completely made out of Irish crocheted lace. And so this is an Irish lace blouse from 1910. What do you guys think of that? The person who made that must have been incredibly talented. Took ages. You know, I cannot even imagine that. Crafty Chat said that was a horrible time for us. Colonialism also did not help. I understood that you went through the potato famine. Hello, Susan. Thank you for joining. Welcome in. Don't forget to hit the like button when you come in the door. Oh, cool. Well, this is the most interaction I have with people with similar interests as me, and I really enjoy it, so I try hard to get your like. Okay, Lacey. Then, you know, we're always happy to have you here. Hey, Denise. You are very welcome to lurk. Everyone's loving this amazing blouse, right? I mean, I want to own that blouse. I want to wear this blouse. It is a masterpiece, and Vita, I do agree. Nana's house says she has an Irish lace bedspread that two of my greats made in 1908. Wow. Wow, and you still have that? That is amazing. What a keepsake. Wow. What condition is it in? Lacey says, oh my goodness, it had to take so much love to finish that whip. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Would have taken me a lifetime to die. I agree. It would have. Bernadette Banner would be drooling over this. Edwardian at its finest. Yes. Yes. It is beautiful, stunning work. Sort of hard to, I mean, you do see that there's a design, there are like repetitions, but it almost look free-formed, right? Yes, Lacey, you want to wear it too. You do not want to wear it. Lacey says she does not want to wear it. She's scared you would ruin it. That can't be regular number 10 thread. I have no idea, but it's so fine, and I would be scared just to begin working on something like that. Just, you know, seeing the pattern would intimidate me. And yes, Nan, we do need pictures of that. So that would be awesome if you can either post them on the Facebook group or send them to me by email. I can maybe show them the next time. The thread is so small, I still use it. No damage at all. Wow, that is amazing. And you know what? That just goes to show you how high quality things were back then, right? I mean, today, things that we make today don't last that long. And those vintage pieces, they last ages. It's unbelievable, right? It's like quality of of work and materials went down during it. Yeah, the industrial period of it all. Right, so yeah. Irish crochet lace. Crochet saves the day. I really love that story. I did know about this period in history as like an anecdote. Like, I had no idea that it had anything to do with crochet until I started doing my research. And when I figured out, or when I first read that that's pretty much what saved the economy at the time, I was like, oh my God, I gotta read more about that. And I think for one whole day of my research was dedicated to this specific subject, going down rabbit holes of looking out vintage patterns and books and so on. Yeah, amazing what they did. The workmanship, the quality of the fiber, they were the greatest generations. Yes, definitely. Yes, definitely. Send me pictures, then I can show them. Maybe it's even so, yeah. Something as thin as sewing thread. That is very possible. All right, so I'm gonna take another sip, and thank you for everyone who is just joining in. It looks like we have 51 people here. I'm very happy that we have such a big turnout. I wasn't sure if this subject would be that interesting to as many people, but I'm very happy that the subject that interests me interests you guys as well. I'm happy to see you all here, and you are all very welcome. Please don't forget to hit the like button, and if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, I would very much appreciate it if you subscribe. If you're interested in becoming a member of the channel, there is a join button right next to the subscribe button, and if you press on that, you will get a full rundown of what it takes to be a member of the channel. And if you can't see the join button, then in the description box below this video, you will also find a link that will take you directly to the membership program for those of you who might be on a device that does not show the join button. I would very much love to have you guys as a part of my crochet family, and you guys know that all profits made by the channel go back into the channel, allowing me to bring more of this type of content for you guys. So cheers to you all. And I'm going to pull up the pictures of our next highlight in crochet history. So that I will already have them ready. All right, everyone ready to move on to the next interesting story? Can I ask you what is on your mannequin behind you, please? Yes, you can. This is a pattern that I tested for Sharon and Crochet. That's what she's called. She's on Instagram and on Ravelry. And I tested this pattern for her. It is called the Alpinian top. Man, the name escapes me now. I'm very, very sorry. I did mention it a few times before. But it is an alpine stitch raglan sweater vest that I made this for our Vestiary Vest Fest. And also, of course, I tested the pattern for the designer. It is, you can get it on Ravelry now. I will post a link to this on the Facebook group after today's live so that everyone who is interested can go and check it out. It is a very nice design. I spoke about it briefly when I finished it, and I have some pictures, some better pictures of it on my Instagram. If you guys follow me on Instagram, that maybe you've already seen it. What I did say about this pattern is that the way it is written is that she has different sizes. So she says for size small, do this amount of rows, for size medium, this, and when I spoke to you guys about crochet math, I think I mentioned this sweater as well, and I told you guys that this kind of pattern can easily be adjusted to fit any body without with no regard to the stitch count or the row count mentioned in the written pattern. So this is a pattern that's very, very easy to adjust to the size that you need it to be, which is what I liked about it. The problem is, or it's not a problem, but in my personal opinion, the designer who made it did not appreciate that fact. And so in her pattern, you will really get a rundown of how many rows to work for small, medium, large, and so on. And it might not always fit you. And there are no written instructions of how to fit it to your own body. But if you or anyone is interested, I have no problem of explaining how to do that. The name escapes me. I'm sorry, but it's on my Instagram. If you go to my Instagram and find the picture of it, then all the details are on there. And I will also, I promise I will put a link to her Ravelry on our Facebook group after the live. All right, moving on. So the next highlight in crochet history that I wanted to talk to you about is when crochet finally took its rightful place in Europe. So having been invented as a method for producing, a cheaper substitute of traditional lace, crochet struggled to shake off its reputation as an inferior craft. However, that changed when the Queen Victoria gave it the royal seal of approval by buying crocheted lace made by Irish women who were struggling to make a living after the potato famine. And the Queen even learned to crochet herself. And there she is. This is Queen Victoria crocheting. I do believe that, this picture probably have been staged, But still, it is very, very nice to see, you know, the old lady Queen Victoria sitting crocheting in her, you know, I don't know, powder room. I'm not sure where exactly she is sitting. But yeah, so the queen learned to crochet, and not only she learned to crochet, she actually made 8 scarves for veterans of the South African War. Now, those 8 scarves have a very interesting story to them. Out of those 8 scarves, 4 were earmarked for members of colonial units, with each one going to the most distinguished private soldier serving in the forces of Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and South Africa, which were all at the time British colonies, with the primary qualification for getting the scarf being gallant conduct in the field. So to have received this scarf made by the Queen herself would have been a great honor. The other 4 went to members of the British Regular Army. The scarf itself carried no particular rank, so it wasn't anything like, you know, the Queen's Cross, or what is it called? But to have received it without a doubt would have been a very big honor. It was then worn not as a scarf, but as a formal part of said soldier's uniform, worn across the body, over the shoulder and under the arm. So sort of like a ribbon, like a ribbon of honor. There have been questions raised as to whether or not the Queen Victoria crocheted the scarves herself. Did she really sit and crochet 8 scarves for members of the army? But however, it was reported that during the presentation of the scarf in Australia, you remember one each went to different colonies. So during the presentation of the scarf in Australia by the Duke of York at the time, later on King George V, and the Duchess of York, later on Queen Mary, so the Queen Mary, had informed or she was not Queen Mary at the time, I'm sorry, the Duchess, while presenting the scarf, had informed the recipient that she had helped the 82-year-old queen when she had dropped stitches while making the scarves. And I thought that was a very, very cute anecdote. You know, the Duke and Duchess standing there giving this scarf that was presented to that soldier in honor, a scarf made by the Queen. Then the Duchess saying, yeah, the old Queen dropped a few stitches and I helped her. Now, if you're interested, you can actually still see some of these 8 scarves today. And I will pull up a picture for you guys. So this is the scarf, as can be seen in the Australian War Memorial, I believe. You can still see 2 of them today. One is on display at the Canadian War Museum in Ottawa, and the other one is on permanent display in the Australian War Memorial in Campbell. Now, this one is the Australian one, which is on permanent display. And you can see that this is, you know, in our days, you would, hey, it's just a regular, you know, granny stitch scarf made in this like khaki kind of color with some fringe. It's not all that much, but still, you know, it was made by the Queen. It was even embroidered with her initials. You can see it down here, this like red part here that sort of like spikes out. I don't know if you can see that or if it's too small on your screen, but those are actually her initials embroidered into the scarf. And so the Queen taking on the art of crochet, that form of craft, finally put crochet in its rightful place. Being fit for a queen, the ladies of the kingdom were all eager to learn it, and by the end of her regime, the entire kingdom was hooked. Isn't that interesting? I wanted to show you one more picture of said scarf. So this is the actual Australian soldier who received the scarf, and he is wearing it over his formal uniform, and you can see that he's wearing it the way I told you guys that it was worn. This fellow is Alfred du Freya, and he is wearing the scarf that was handmade or hand crocheted by Queen Victoria. Handsome little fellow. Someone should write a book on the development of crochet since its most recent arrival. Someone should write a book about the development of crochet since its most recent arrival. What do you mean? Probably more information available about this period of time. I'm not sure what you mean, but if you can explain, I would love it. Can I ask you what is on your... I already answered that. Lacey says the Queen Victoria is a pencil holder. Everyone is appreciating the fact that she is a pencil grip. And she's sitting in the royal craft room, says Madonna. Right, Debbie? I would think having that in your family is a total keepsake, but apparently the only ones that have survived to this day are in museums, which can be expected. I wondered too if she was any good at it. I mean, like, you know, the Duchess told at the ceremony, she may have required some help. Yes, exactly, not very fancy schmancy, just a simple granny stitch. Glad you liked the story of the scarf, and yeah, it must have been a great pride to have received one. Scarf did held up well, probably because, you know, it was probably never actually used and only worn on formal events, as you can see in the picture. And he does look very, very proud. Catherine says Queen Victoria in her she shed. That should be the title of that picture. Oh, you guys crack me up. I always have so much fun here. Queen Victoria in her she shed. Oh, you guys are hilarious. All right. So, yeah, the queen, crocheting scarves, you know, granny stitch scarves for soldiers of the South African War. I thought it was a very interesting anecdote, and it definitely was a very interesting point in time for crochet, because that is actually what put crochet on the map in the high society in Europe. If Queen Victoria did it, everyone wanted to do it. She was a trendsetter, you know, just like the ladies of the court today, which we all follow, and any item they wear is immediately sold out. So it was, you know, that version of this at that time. Will Mrs. You think that is very nice for someone who just learned to crochet? Yeah. Oh, Linda, you're watching me on TV. I'm on a big screen. Well, she was ruling a huge kingdom, so a few dropped stitches can be expected. Yes, or she has so much on her mind, you know. That should be hanging in every school in Canada instead of the throne. Yes, you know, that's what you want to teach your kids, right? I bet her craft space probably didn't have to share space with the laundry or dining. Yes, obviously. Wow, I'm gonna, write a letter to Buckingham Palace. Like, I would love to get information about what Queen Victoria's craft room was like. I'm doing a research. It's the Bernie mittens of the age, exactly. The Queen's granny stitch scarf. Now you've seen it, you guys can all duplicate it. Go out there, find this ugly khaki yarn, and just make a granny stitch scarf, some fringe on the end, embroider in red, and you got your top fashion item. She probably did have the best stash. Yes, she probably did. I want to see Queen Victoria doing a stash flash. I want more pictures of her collection of yarns. Yes. I'm going to write the British Archives. How is there no, like, portrait of her painted somewhere, like, crocheting or with a huge granny square blanket or something like that, right? Lacey, I was just about to say I'm making some queen scarves. Yes, I think that's our next project. Bye, Lashira. Thank you for being here. I highly appreciate you. I'm glad you all feel smarter. Oh, right. So, with your permission, I'm going to pull up the pictures I need for the next section. And if we're all ready, then I will tell you a little bit more about wartime crochet. You know what? Before we move to wartime crochet, let me tell you a little bit about this week's giveaway, okay? So once this goes into replay, not now because it will go in the chat, after this live stream is over, and come back to the video, come back to the replay, and comment down below and let me know what you thought of today's class, about the different periods of times and what was most interesting to you. And next week on Yarniversity, we will pick a winner. And for this week, because I thought it was, kind of a more unique subject than what we normally do, I thought I would go with a little bit more of I don't know, what I think is a little bit more in the giveaway. So for this week's giveaway, to enter, all you have to do is come back to the video when this goes into replay and leave a comment down below saying what did you think of this week's class and what of the story that I told were the most interested to you or you would like to know more about. And what you will be able to win this week is this beautiful hank of yarn. Look at this amazing sparkly rainbow. It has some golden sparkles running through it. This is lightweight silk yarn from Darn Good Yarn, and it is called Sparkle Autumnal Equinox. And it is a lace weight. They recommend a hook 2.25 millimeter hook for it. And there are 50 grams and 300 yards, and it is 100% recycled silk. So again, this is the yarn. 100% recycled silk in this beautiful sparkly rainbow. You get 50 grams, which make 300 yards. And to go along with it, you will get this set. It's also from Darn Good Yarn. It is a pair of knitting needles as well as one crochet hook. And they are both a size 5 millimeters. So the knitting needles as well as the crochet hook are 5 millimeters. And they are also from Darn Good Yarn. And I will show it to you real quick. So, sorry. Don't want to ruin it before I send it out. So here is the hook. It has a beautiful signature J-hook crochet purple top, which I love. And as you can see, it's a 5 millimeter. It's a wooden hook. And the knitting needles will come along with it. They are also the same size, and they are also about the same length, as you can see. I'm very glad you guys all like it. Now I only have to find how to repackage it. How do you recycle silk? That is a good question and a whole topic for a whole other live when we will talk about recycled material yarns. That is coming up, not next week, but it is in the plans for one of the next Yarniversities. We will talk about recycled materials. You guys all know that I am very environmental friendly agenda person, and I research a lot into that, so that would be coming up. Denise says she always forgets to answer the questions until Sunday, so I sneak away and answer on last week's. That's okay. That's why I always remind at the beginning of the live, because people said they always forget, so I promise I'm going to remind you guys in the beginning, like I did today. Today I remember to remind you. Debbie says she missed that sale. Oh, that was an amazing sale, and I have a huge Darn Good Yarn haul coming in. That would be a whole separate video. Yes, they are very nice hooks. I have a set of these myself, and I have an extra one, so I thought I would let one of you guys have it. For those of you who don't know, I am an affiliate with Darn Good Yarn. I don't promote them like crazy, as you see. I don't have like a ton of videos about them and so on. And even in the videos that I did do about them, I didn't always say good things. So I am an affiliate with them, but I'm not paid to promote them. However, if you do buy from Darn Good Yarn, I would appreciate it if you use my affiliate link, which is in the description box of each one of my videos. Before you buy, just click on that link to go to the website and then make your purchase, and then a small percentage of that goes to me. It does not cost anything to you. You pay exactly the same, but I get a small kickback. And if you do shop at Darn Good Yarn, I would very much appreciate it if you do it using my link. But yeah, I have a set of these myself, and since I had an extra one, I thought it would be nice for today's giveaway. And I'm glad you guys all like the hooks and the yarn, and that would make a beautiful set. So yeah, don't forget to come back and comment, and next week we will choose the winner for that. Oh, I hope that as many people will watch this either now on live or later on replay, and I will also post it on Facebook as well as the community posts as well as Instagram and whenever I can. But next week's Yarniversity will be on Saturday instead of a Sunday. This will be a one-time thing. It will be on a Saturday instead of Sunday. For personal reasons, I will not be able to be here on Sunday. So I'm letting you guys know in advance, and I hope that you could all still make it. All right, so moving on to the next period of time. I hope you're all ready. Let's all cheers to you guys. And we are moving on to wartime crochet. So crochet became part of the wartime effort on both the First and the Second World Wars. Women on the home front could contribute to the war efforts by hooking up items for the troops. Following the initial idea of, Queen Victoria making scarves for troops, that was more of a symbolic thing. During the World Wars, crocheting and knitting items for troops actually became a need. There was high demand for certain comforts for soldiers on the battlefield or wounded soldiers or different ones. They suffered for different kind of injuries and were in different kind of medical facilities. There was a very big need. At some point in the war, there was even such a deep need for socks that there was a whole propaganda all over the world within the US, the UK, and the Allies, advertising, calling out for people to crochet and knit socks for the troops. And in order to recruit armies of knitters, relief organizations published posters, flyers, patterns, and sponsored activities such as knitting and crochet parties, knit-ins, and parades. They even sponsored and advertised a contest for the most prolific knitters, the ones who produced record numbers of knitted and crocheted comforts for soldiers. Yarn and needlework pattern companies were also committed to support this cause, and they publish booklets including and sometimes exclusively devoted to patterns for fighting men and war victims. Here is just a small example. This is a Red Cross flyer from the time, and it says, "Our boys need socks. Knit your bit." This is like a recruitment flyer to make socks. I thought that it was both genius and hilarious at the same time. It was a time where it was actually acknowledged that people who crochet and knit have something valuable to contribute. All this propaganda was extremely effective as well. The popularity of knitting and crocheting was spiking. Crocheting in public was actually considered a display of patriotism, as it was immediately assumed that you were making items which are to be sent to the front lines. So, women, when seen in public, would carry around yarn and needles or yarn and crochet hooks to show support for the war efforts. It was sort of like a status symbol, right? And there are many, many stories and documentations and testimonies of thankful soldiers and victims which were writing thank you notes back to the knitters and crocheters. And a few of those letters actually made it back from the battlefront to the makers who donated the items. The campaign and the propaganda that fueled it proved to be successful all around. For the warriors, the wounded, for the warriors, the wounded, the displaced, and even the knitters and crocheters themselves. So, suddenly the knitters and crocheters were popular, needed, they felt appreciated everywhere they went. And of course, on the battlefront, the soldiers who received the items, they got those very needed items, which were handmade by people back home for them. I thought that was an amazing story. Yes, socks. Right, Catherine. Socks. Jenny says her granny knitted socks. That is really awesome. Yeah, they used to gossip about the women that couldn't turn for the heel. Seriously? That's hilarious. Judy says her English teacher in high school talked about being required to knit socks at school during World War II. So as a student, she was required to do it. No crocheting. Yes. Debbie, yes. The picture is about knitting, this specific picture. I did try to find those pamphlet that they were talking about, and I did find a few pictures of crochet patterns from a booklet which was published during World War II. Specifically crochet pattern for different items. However, that specific booklet is protected by no. So the company owns the right to that booklet and every picture off of it. So I am not allowed to show it to you guys. However, I did find it with a deeper Google search, so it is out there on the internet, only it is on their website under their rights protection. So if you look for it, you will find it, but I cannot show it. Linda says her nan taught her dad and his brother and sister to knit socks. That is amazing. Can we still use that as an excuse? We need to crochet in case there is war. Yes, Catherine. Definitely. It's like preparing for the apocalypse, right? My grandmother, her mother, and her 4 sisters learned to knit and crochet because of this. See? The crochet and knit, this was like, it's like sad to say, but this was like the golden age, right? Everyone was suddenly crocheting and knitting, and to crochet and knit was considered very patriotic. Jenny says she's been trying to get crochet socks right, never get two the same. My crochet nemesis. I don't want to sound, like full of myself or something, but my pattern for crochet socks is very, very, very easy, and I invite you to try it. It is, Catherine is here. She tested it. I think there are a few more people in the chat here who bought it during the past week since it was released, so maybe they can testify to what it's like to work on the socks. But it's like very, very beginning friendly, and the heel is like sort of made after you have made the entire sock, so it's even easier. So I hope that I made it because I always wanted to crochet socks and I never could have gotten them right, and which was why I started making my own pattern. So Lori says this is cool, but that yarn looks like a Dementor of Venom. Now that you've said it, I can't see anything else but a Dementor in that picture. Thank you for that, Lori. Yes, Wilma, copyright is the word I was looking for. Those booklets for crochet patterns from the word that I could find, they are copyright protected, and so I cannot show them. So I mean, I invite, if you write World War II crochet or items, crochet patterns, or crochet for soldiers, or crochet for our troops, or whatever, you will probably find them, but I cannot show them or link to them. Catherine says that it's true. My pattern's great. Oh, thank you. Lori says, my mom remembers her physical education time in school, including taking hikes in the woods to harvest milkweed pods to open them up and use the fluff inside for stuffing life preservers in World War II. Wow, that is an interesting story. But you see, I mean, that entire nation being recruited at a time of war, that's something that's like, since the Second World War. I mean, it was seen during the First and Second World War, but since then, I don't think we have experienced anything like that, in our lifetime. This like sense of the entire country coming together to help the world effort. And I grew up in Israel, where it's always war. I mean, for as much as I can, for as long as I can remember myself, there's been war going on, and it doesn't come to that, to that. I mean, of course, there is like an attitude towards soldiers. People always help soldiers. If you see them, you always like, people like give them stuff and give them discounts in certain places, and there are people who are sending packages to soldiers and so on. But in like the whole nation coming together to crochet and knit items for the soldiers, that doesn't happen in modern times. Hi Tracy, welcome in. And hello Ursula, thank you for joining us. Hi Francie, that's okay. Don't worry, anyone who missed the beginning, the end, whatever I said in the beginning, all of today's information is already on the blog, so you can go in and read it over there if you're interested. Or you can come back and watch the replay. That's always an option. Please don't forget to hit the like button when you come in, and if you're new here, I would very much appreciate it if you also hit the subscribe button. Madonna says she remembers all the ladies gathering at the schoolhouse and making things for World War II. Bandages, socks, helmets, rags, towels, and all sort of things. Yes, Madonna. I have seen patterns for those helmet rags. Those are exactly the ones that are in that booklet that I cannot show, but I was like amazed by the variety of items. I would like, there's like a whole war fashion, there's like things that are wearables for war that are crochet or knitted items. It's amazing. Reggie, how does members get the access code discount to your Etsy shop? It's in the, you have to, in YouTube, go to your, wait, I don't remember what that tab is called. When you go to the home page of YouTube, you have, what is it called? I think it's called like your purchases or your purchases and memberships. So when you go to the homepage of YouTube, on the top right corner, there's like a little circle with your picture, like it's your icon. And if you press on it, then there's a menu opening, and then it says purchases and memberships. And when you go to purchases and memberships and choose your membership to my channel, then you will get everything that your membership includes, and on there will be exactly what the code is. If it doesn't work, or if you can't find it for any reason, just let me know and I'll text it to you. Wilma says she bought my socks pattern too. Oh, thank you. I very much appreciate it. Oh, we have a new member, Ursula. Thank you for joining us. Cheers to Ursula, everyone. All of our members, use your cheers icon. Cheers to Ursula. Thank you for joining our family. Lori says, no, thank goodness, we haven't had to fight another world war. Yes, exactly. I did not. I'm sorry if it came out that way. That is not what I meant. I see how people are acting during the pandemic and wonder if we are all too soft for such effort these days. I think we are, Lori. I think we are, and I think we're too, like, self-observed. Yes, obviously, except us. We will crochet and knit up everything. I agree. All right. So yes, everyone, cheers to Ursula. Welcome to our members club. Happy to have you. And if you're all ready, then we will move on to the golden age of crochet. When do you think that was? What period of time would you say was the golden age of crochet? Oh, I'm getting a DIY raid. Hello. Hello, Jamie. You'll ask your kids on how. Either I'll get discount to your sock pattern, or my kids will buy a lifetime member to Papa Pig. I think you're fine both ways. I mean, that's a win-win situation. my kids have a, lifetime membership to Peppa Pig, so that's okay too. Jamie says the 70s. It is evening for me. Denise says she guesses it's the 60s and 70s, and Catherine says 70s. Madonna says it's all the ages. '50s, says Debbie. All right, well, you guys, or most of you guys, guessed correctly. It is indeed the 60s and the 70s. The growing popularity of crochet came to its all-time peak during that period. Those were the days when crochet boom really began. Crochet wearables in all shapes and sizes were very in fashion. There were dresses, vests, sweaters, scarves, skirts, hats, beach wear, bags, everything. And it was just everywhere. It was homeware, decorational items, everything. There was a huge hit. At some point, the traditional granny square even made it into Vogue magazine. And being a simple design, it could have been used to make a huge variety of clothes and accessories, as it is used today. But in the 70s, that form, this, the granny square, the traditional one, and with each row made in a different color, that was very in. This, geometrical shapes, different colors, color combinations, the fashion of the 60s and the 70s, and that falls right in the middle of it. There was a huge variety of clothes and accessories made with those designs, and it even made it into TV series and movies. Celebrities, both men and women, included it into their wardrobe. And some crochet looks even became iconic, and I will show you some of these. James says she wants to say the golden age was in the 40s or 50s. My great-grandmother was a lovely crocheter. She made beautiful work. Rose color crochet, Victorian era. Pantsuits, yes. Headbands, exactly. Madonna, definitely headbands. Can anybody see my posts? Yes, we see you. You are visible. Lori should brand a t-shirt with that saying. What saying was that? Did I miss something? What did Lori say? Crochet and knit up all the things. All right, so I wanted to show you some pictures of some iconic crochet pieces from the 60s and the 70s. So here we have a beautiful lady. You may know her. This is Cher. Yeah, pro Botox and injections of all kinds. And Cher is wearing a very simple blue crochet filet tank top, which is only barely covering her. And that look have become one of her most iconic looks. When you those lists that we have today, 10 most popular, most iconic looks of X of all times, whatever. This look has been on the Cher look since she wore it. Ursula says she's sitting next to a laptop crocheting, so might miss comments looking up and down. Okay, that's okay. Yes, Cher. Exactly. Jamie, she crochets herself, although there are no evidence that she crocheted this specific top herself, but Cher is also a crocheter. Celebrities who crochet, that can be another Yarniversity topic. I look like the picture, says Ursula? No, I don't look like Cher. I would never wear this though. Never. I would, however, wear this look of hers, which I will show you now. This next one is another one of Cher's look, but it actually became very, very famous. And the woman who made it is a very famous crochet designer, or her designs are very famous. And there she is, sharing this beautiful net crochet dress. What do you think of that one? I would wear that today. I mean, that would still be in fashion. You wanted to learn to crochet in the 70s, but textile teacher didn't know how. Everybody only knew how to knit, which was an expected form of all little girls. Oh, it's sad because it was so much in fashion. Oh, thank you, Madonna. That's sweet. Thank you. I love that dress, right? It's a beautiful look. It's like today when you think of Cher, you don't think of this, you know, simple, pretty, girly look. You think more like extravaganza, out of the box, over the top looks, right? But this, she looks really nice here. Jamie, I'm glad you found that funny. Um, I can be a Cher present. I think I'll stick to crochet, but thank you, ladies. Right? A long, oversized t-shirt. Yeah. Thank you, Catherine. Hi, Jeanette. Thank you for joining. Welcome in. Denise, you had a Cher Barbie doll. What outfit did she have? I'm interested in that. Julie says her very first crochet project was a poncho made from 6 large granny squares. It was in 1974, and a teacher at school taught us to make it. See? It was like high fashion at the time. You could probably also wear that poncho out and it would be like, I made that, and everyone would be like, oh, where'd you get it? It's amazing. Thank you, Jamie. Oh, guys, I'm really bad with compliments and I'm gonna get all red. Thank you. You guys are sweet. Yeah, so some crochet looks became iconic at the time, just like the dress in net look that you can see here, and also her filet crochet tank top. Another celebrity who was spotted rocking a crochet look is Clint Eastwood, who was actually featured in Playboy's Man Fashion spread, and he was wearing a granny square vest. And I have to show you that one in case you haven't seen that picture already, because it is a pretty famous picture. But if you haven't seen it yet, this is Clint Eastwood wearing what is arguably the most ugly crochet granny square vest I've ever seen. However, he is stinking hot in it. Dee says she remembers sharing that dress or a similar one. The only crochet you learned at school was making a long chain? And what did you do with that knowledge? Oh, they were naked. Okay, so they didn't come with a Cher outfit. Hello, Wanda. Welcome. Good afternoon to you. Lori says, to clarify, you look like the... Oh, actually young, fresh, unprocessed Cher. Oh, thank you. Thanks for that clarification. Thank you, Lori. Oh, you girls crack me up. Yes, Ursula, he is. He is wearing a crochet vest as well as a half-naked girl. That is correct. Do you have a picture of Paul McCartney with the granny square vest too? I did not prepare it, but I do believe I know which one you're referring to. I am getting it as we speak, and I will show that to you guys. That is actually an item that to this day is being replicated in different medias. I believe that, one second, let me just do this. Catherine is referring to this picture. Correct, Catherine? That is a very very popular design, which was replicated countless times. You can find so many patterns saying crochet Paul McCartney's vest. Is that shirt see-through? The one that Clint Eastwood was wearing? Yes. Wearing crochet bikinis, particularly 70s thing, made from cotton. It stretched out of shape and caused very red cheeks. They were only good for sunbathing. Yeah, I have seen a few of those patterns. I don't know, were they like a big hit? I have seen some pictures while I was researching of crochet, not specifically bikinis, but bathing suits, but they were like just pictures of patterns from crochet magazines. So I had no idea if that was like a thing or just that specific magazine. But I know, I mean, today, most crochet patterns for bikinis and bathing suits in general do state that although it was very common to use cotton for bathing suits, it is actually not the recommended material for this kind of wearable. Catherine says she learned nothing except making a cat toy with that long chain, you mean? That's true, Lori. Clint Eastwood would look very good in anything at any age. I was just thinking that, you know, the fact that he can wear such an ugly thing and still be stinging gorgeous is amazing. Yeah, is this the picture you guys were thinking about? Cheryl says she was the only one other than the home economic teacher to crochet or knit in 1973. Really? Back in the day, Clint Eastwood would wear a grocery sack and a rocket. I think today as well. That poor woman needs some meat. Yes, T. Oh. Hi, Julie. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Hey, my husband is here. Hello, Dennis. We are talking about beautiful men rocking crochet look. Do you feel like rocking something crocheted? Catherine, at least you learned to crochet a chain. My son struggled so much with it that I did it for him, as well as the first row of a single crochet to save frustration and quitting. But did he continue afterwards? That's one of the pictures. You were thinking of one of a frontal face but it was a small granny square like that. Yeah, that there he has a few pictures wearing that one. One of them is also, there's also one where he is actually with John Lennon in the same picture. Yes, right? This design would definitely still work today. Which is why it's still a very popular design. You can like buy patterns of this in different places. Well, although, I mean, why would you need a pattern? Everyone who can make a granny square can make the vest, but I assume maybe people need some kind of guidance of how to put it together. Dennis, no. No. There you have it. My husband will not wear crochet and apparently also will not rock it the same way that Paul McCartney and Clint Eastwood do. Catherine says, we talk about bikinis and Playboy and then Dennis shows up. He knows when to come in. He knows exactly when to come in. Dennis says he would totally want to see a crochet bikini. Hello, Milani. Milani? Did I say that correct? See you later, Tracy. Thank you for being here. All right, so where were we? Hot men in Playboy magazine wearing crochet items. That was in the 60s and the 70s, the golden age of crochet. For almost 2 decades, crochet clothing became a fashion statement. And then the 80s came and crochet was out of vogue. Yeah, the following decades of the 20th century fashion were anything but crochet friendly. We all know the terrible fashions of the 80s and 90s hit. Yeah. That was the end of that. So what do you guys all think about 70s and 80s crochet, men wearing crochet item, Clint Eastwood on Playboy, and my husband wanting a bikini crochet, a crochet bikini. Hey, Linda! Hey, we have a new member! Cheers to Linda! Welcome to our members family! Thank you for joining! Cheers! Jamie says, oh, she was on top chat instead of live chat. Oh no, you guys, if you don't want to miss the funny things going on in the chat, make sure you go to live chat and not top chat so you don't miss anyone's comment. I myself sometimes miss comments, so I don't always read everyone's. But if you don't want to miss any of the action, don't forget to change your status to live chat. Jamie says those are some loaded questions. My men don't have choice. They are wearing it. Well, my kids do. I mean, both of my kids wear crochet all the time because I make them stuff all the time. They actually wear, you know, beanies and scarves that I made on a daily basis when they go to kindergarten. I have made them some sweaters and cardigans. Yeah, well, as long as I'm the one deciding what they wear. But my husband has a mind of his own. I think now you should crochet shorts for Dennis. But now we'll put all this time into it and he would never wear it. And that would be such a waste of yarn. Love all of it, but still want to see Victoria flash her stash. Definitely. Me too. Kim says men are great in crochet. Not sure about bathing suit though. Then he says, hell no, he's just thinking of all the itching. You mean all the itching of crochet pants? Your son is still learning single crochet in between work and gaming, but he has kept at it. That's nice. I think it will be a while before he's ready to make the Baby Yoda. Oh, yeah, that's not a beginner's project. Ursula once read an article that said way back when a girl of 12 apprentice could make a good salary if they could crochet very neat. 1 week's work paid for rent. Wow. I don't have any itchy yarn, and Dennis, you should know it because, well, you're paying for it. Lori says her daughter is learning to crochet, and the bags and halter tops she makes remind me of the 60s and 70s stuff my older sister used to make themselves. Yes, but Lori, those are totally in fashion now. Like right now, crochet is very in. But we will get to it. Are you guys all ready to hear about the history of amigurumi? We are coming to a new section in the history of crochet, the introduction of stuffy dolls. Give me a sign that you guys are all ready for that, and I will take another sip and we'll continue. In the meantime, I will pull up the pictures. Promise they won't be half as nice as Clint Eastwood, but you know, it can all be handsome men wearing crochet. All right. So, amigurumi, that is the Japanese art of knitting or crocheting small stuffed yarn creatures. The word is the blend of the word ami and nuigurumi. Now, please don't grade me on my Japanese. French at the beginning was hard enough. That means crocheted or knitted stuffed toy or stuffed doll. So, you know, it pretty much means exactly what we use it for. The specific origins of amigurumi remain unclear to this day, but there is a general conception that the core development of it happened in Japan. Some historians claim that the origin of this art can be found in China, where there are records of crocheted and knitted dolls from the Shang dynasty. The craft started to take hold in Japan with the interaction between China and Japan at the beginning of the 17th century. In the 19th century, as trading was established between Japan and Europe, the Western methods of knitting and crochet, which were then taking their roots in Europe, as we were talking about before, they migrated to the east along the trade routes. At the beginning of the 20th century, at the verge of World War I, more and more Japanese women were encouraged to take over the craft and learned the art of Western-style needlework. So just as in the West, women were called to crochet and knit for the war effort, the same happened in Japan, or in the East, in Japan and China. And so more and more women learned the art of modern crochet and then put that into doll and stuffy making later, those new skills that they learned. There are actually some records of Japanese crochet patterns for small stuffed animals, which were published in 1927. So the art of making these little stuffed toy or dolls out of yarn or fabric existed already, but with the arrival of the Western style crochet and knitting, it merged with the local style, which was already existed, and created this form of what we today refer to as amigurumi. The first actual amigurumi doll in the form that we know it today appeared in the early 1970s. At this time, the kawaii culture emerged, and characters such as Hello Kitty became more and more popular. Alongside the anime and manga, which were also at their early stages at the time, those subcultures contributed to the development of amigurumi as an art. So those cultures of those, Japanese comic, manga, anime characters, all that surrounds it, merch, and so on, contributed to the development of amigurumis as an art. The movement gained the actual footing worldwide in the early 2000s, when amigurumi finally hit the United States. The blend of Eastern and Western cultures, which is embodied in the amigurumi dolls, together with the growing popularity of Japanese pop cultures in general in the US, gave amigurumi the final boost and finally brought it to where it is today. Now, that is not to say that there were not any stuffed toys or animals crocheted or knitted before. But this form of making amigurumis the way we make them now came to the US, or became popular in the Western world in the early 2000s. So before that, there were, of course, pattern of crocheted or knitted stuffed dolls. They were obviously not referred to as amigurumi at the time. The word amigurumi came with the culture from Japan. It was just referred to with a different name before that in the West. It did exist, but it did not look anything like what we today know as amigurumi. When you look at pictures of crocheted dolls or stuffy toys from the early 70s and 60s from crocheted magazines, they look nothing like what we make today, or what is popular today, because this form of making amigurumis did not exist back then, or was not known back then in the West, and it only migrated with the rest of Japanese pop culture. And I will show you an example for a very early amigurumi doll. There it is. That's a duck. Not to say that it looks a little bit retarded, but that's maybe just my personal opinion. Denise had to go. She probably already left. It takes a while until I read the chat. So bye, Denise. Thank you for being here. Amigurumi kind of makes sense. There were knitted dolls when I was a kid. Yeah, there were, as I've said, there were knitted and crocheted dolls and toys before, but it's more what we call amigurumi did not exist, or the way we make it today, the methods that we use to make amigurumi today did not exist back then. So it was a whole different art. So what do you guys think of the history of amigurumi and how it migrated from Japan? Or in general, what do you think about retarded ducks? It looks, I'm sorry, that specific duck looks a little challenged. To me. Not that is not to offend anyone, and you guys all know that I never mean to offend anyone, and everything I say is in good spirit. So please, nobody take this personal. Dee says it's a cute ducky. Yeah, it is. It's a cute ducky. I think specifically that one, although the picture is relatively old, from the early 70s, that specific one resembles a little what we use in our methods today to make amigurumi. You can see the stitches resembles a lot. However, it does look or appear to be made in rows going back and forth rather than in the round. Ursula says that if she makes a duck, she thinks that picture will look better than the one she will make. The beak looks sad, yeah, a little. Catherine says it looks like his beak is gonna fall off, but it's cute. Yeah, it looks like, you know, he had a little accident there. But again, you need to take into consideration, this is like an early form of amigurumi from the early 70s, and like I said, it sort of looks like it was made in row, going back and forth, and then like sewn together and stuffed. And maybe the form of joining is not as good as we know how to join parts today. So, but other than that, who were the early amigurumi aimed at before it became an art form? I believe kids. I mean, they were made as toys. They were always made as toys. Hi, Mayor. Thank you for joining. Welcome. I've never attempted amigurumi before, but that duck makes me feel like anything I attempt to make would look just as rough as that one. Well, you can always make it, and then, you know, if it comes out anything like that, you can say it's a vintage 70s pattern. Right, Ursula? I'm sure it looks better than what I'd come up with. I so want to try, but all these whips. Oh yeah, I get you, Dee. However, you all know I have been known to take breaks and start just one more. I always start just one more. Just one more. And then just one more. And then just one more. And one more. Mary, you love amigurumi? We just finished talking about the development of amigurumi. Linda, you made a cat and a rabbit. I've made tons of them by now. Jamie says here, it reminds me when I made my first crochet doll back in high school before I even knew amigurumi was a thing. Did it look anything like that? It looks like when Donald Duck walks into a wall. See, that's why I come here every Sunday, for these kind of sayings. All right. So, we are almost coming to the end of the show. Can you believe it? So without further ado, we're going to move on to our next subject. Hope you're ready. Okay, Ursula, you're more than welcome. I appreciate people watching the replay. All right, So next we're going to talk about another interesting development in the history of crochet. Wait, Dee is saying she made sort of an origami amigurumi, knitted a square, and then folded a certain way to make a rabbit. Oh, I know that pattern. That is actually a very genius pattern. And Chrissy says she makes most of her amigurumi with blanket yarn, and then they are very cuddly. All right, so we are moving on to another big development in the history of crochet, and that's public displays of crochet. In the early 2000s, inspired by the popular art of graffiti, yarn bombing was born. This form of street art may vary greatly in style, aesthetic, and meaning. While yarn bombing can be used to make deep, meaningful statements about the world around us, in most cases the purpose is simple: to create something fun and beautiful just because it might make someone else's day. And here is a wonderful example of yarn bombing that makes people smile. The practice is believed to have originated in the US, with Texas knitters trying to find creative way to use their leftovers and unfinished knitting projects. The start of this movement has been attributed to Magda Zayeg from Houston, Texas, who said she first got the idea in 2005 when she covered the door handle of her boutique with a custom-made cozy. So that was her first try to cover something in a public place in a crochet form, and then she sparked an idea. She said, oh, displaying crochet in public places by wrapping different thing in the general space with crochet. In the beginning, it mainly included large pieces of crochet or knitwork joined together around trees or street posts. It was fairly random and carried no special meaning. As the movement grew and spread to more and more countries around the world, artists began designing custom items to fit specific places and express a specific meaning or raise special feelings. The movement moved from simple cozies with the innovation of the stitched story, a concept which uses handmade amigurumi creatures or characters and items to tell a narrative or show a theme. Unlike earlier forms of fiber art, yarn bombing emerged in the time of the internet, which helped it grow rapidly and spread like wildfire, because they didn't need trade routes to carry it between continents and, written forms. There was the internet. It was out there. Videos went viral. So overnight, it was everywhere. And that is something that's very interesting to me. There's a small pause here. Something that's very interesting to me to see how the time or the era in which this took place made it spread so rapidly. So if yarn bombing would have happened, I don't know, in the early 1900s or the early 1800s, it would have been probably concluded as like a very small local thing that only happens in that one place. But thanks to the internet, overnight almost, it's everywhere. And pretty soon it evolved, and some big cities even created outside galleries and invited local fiber artists to come and display their work. And once again, crochet is in public and is displayed in different places and is appreciated as an art. And although it is still illegal in some places, guerrilla yarn bombing is more commonly looked fondly upon. Most law concerning it refers to the artist's responsibility to remove their work and dispose of it in an organized manner before it becomes a hazard or causes damage to the environment. If left behind, installations can become soggy and synthetic fibers can litter the surroundings. Yarn placed around trees for a long period of time can restrict sap production and constrict their growth, and therefore most places don't completely ban yarn bombing, but do state that if you do not dispose of your display in a timely manner, you will be fined. Today, you can find yarn bombing collectives and organized groups in almost every major city. They hold monthly meetings, they plan joint events, and sometimes they even compete against one another. There is even an International Yarn Bombing Day. That's June 11th, by the way. The first ever Yarn Bombing Day took place in the 11th of June of 2011, and it has been going strong ever since. So I thought that was interesting because it is a very important development in crochet history, although it is fairly recent. So we all were here to witness it happen. Let's see what you guys said. Jamie says, speaking of Donald Duck, my 9-year-old daughter asked me the other day, why doesn't he wear pants? Oh, we had that discussion a few weeks ago. Francie says, the duck reminded her of a free crochet piece she made in 6th grade. Still have that somewhere. Oh, that's interesting. Now you want a yarn bomb. Prettiest yarn bombing you've ever seen, says Catherine. Hello, Petra from the Czech Republic. Do you mind? You're knitting right now? No? Oh, you are more than welcome to be knitting while watching. I appreciate lurkers. Please don't forget to hit the thumbs up when you come in. And if you're not yet subscribed, I would very much appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel as well. Ursula says, it sounds like she made an amigurumi and just stuffed it with a doorknob. Dee says she thinks yarn bombing like that is cool. But I think of what it would look like after a while in the weather. Yeah, exactly, Dee. That is why those laws that I mentioned exist. Christy would like to try this on her own fence. That's really cool and very pretty. Jamie says, oh, I think I would like to do it on my tree in the front yard. Yeah, but like I said, when you do it around trees, you have to take it away every once in a while, let the tree, rejuvenate, and then you can cover it again a few months later. The same with singers. If the Beatles came about in the internet era, they would have been so much more popular. Exactly. It's the same with everything, of course. I wonder, is this considered vandalism? In some places, it does. Guerrilla yarn bombing. Yes, exactly. It is referred to as guerrilla yarn bombing, by the way, in law, in written law. Our neighborhood wanted to yarn bomb town square Christmas tree because it is so miserable. But some feared of being fined and accused of littering. Exactly. Some also feared the decorations would be stolen. It probably depends on who owns the item you are bombing and if you have their permission, which is similar to graffiti art. Yeah. But unlike graffiti, which in a lot of places is just plain illegal, yarn bombing, it is fairly new, so not all countries have already laws and rules against it. But there are some countries where it's so popular that they've already written laws about it, and so mainly the laws and the rules refer to where it is not allowed, of course in places where it presents a danger to the public of any sort, but most of the rules refer to how you should dispose of it in a timely manner. It can only be there for so and so long time, so that it will not become a hazard to the environment or anything that can be considered littering. Wouldn't it be great to yarn bomb a wall in a sunroom? That would look great. Yeah. My kids wanted to know why, if Winnie the Pooh doesn't wear pants, why do they? Thank you for all those shows that I should not let my boys watch. He couldn't pull up the pants with his wings. That's a good answer, Jenny. But Winnie has a furry butt. Tell them they can run around without pants when they do. Catherine, sometimes I think I should call you when I need an answer for something my boys are asking. I'm gonna just show you guys some more pictures of interesting yarn bombings to hear what you guys think about them. I thought that one was very pretty with like the things hanging from the tree. Why does Donald Duck wear a towel when he comes out of the shower? I think that's okay. So that specific question, I think that's like a storytelling detail, because like if he wouldn't have worn a towel when he came out of the shower, then the only way to display him coming out of the shower will be to display him naked, because he wouldn't come out of the shower wearing his shirt. And then like this concept of the character being naked is not accepted, so they solved it by putting a towel against. But that's like the educated answer, and I know that you guys are having a silly discussion, so ignore what I just said. I definitely know I can count on you, Catherine. I need you on speed dial for when my boys say something like that. I have more pictures of yarn bombing. A village in England had small and large knitted and crochet items in public square and gardens last autumn. The pictures of the village looked really good. Lots of humor. Oh, that's interesting. Do you know the name of that village? I can Google that. I actually found a specific group of yarn bombers that they do something different for their little town every year. And one year they did everyone's mailboxes, and the pictures were really cute. Here's another. Wait, not that one. So here is another picture of yarn bombing. that one is nice because it's actually like, I don't know, it cheers up the whole space, the whole surrounding. You're good with arguing with dolls. I would imagine you are. Lori says she loves the yarn bombing concept. Kind of want to put up a fence so I can yarn bomb it. Wearing clothing on animation is mostly to humanize them because they talk and do a lot of human things, although they're animals. Sorry, my daughter is into animation. That is correct, Ursula, though. Do you know how they do that? Do they crochet around the tree? No, they crochet the item separately and then they sew it on the tree. So they crochet it and then they close it around the tree and sew it while standing there. I saw a picture of a woman who covered everything in her home in crochet knit. Is that yarn bombing? It could be considered yarn bombing, but it's her own house and it's not a public area, so I don't think so. I think if it's inside her house, it's more like decoration. I think yarn bombing refers to that, like covering something in a public place, like, you know, sort of like a guerrilla activity. It is cheerful and festive, don't you think? I have one more I wanted to show you guys. On this one, I thought it was pretty cute. Of the bicycle. So if you have an old pair of bicycle, for example, you can yarn bomb that and put it in front of your lawn. It is. It's an addiction. It fits so perfectly. Yeah, I mean, well, if the yarn is stretchy, it will always look like it fits perfectly, I think. Sorry. Right, Catherine? It looks like it's like a decorational lawn piece. Very fun. You would, I mean, if it stands outside, you can keep it for long with weather and everything. You might have to like change it up every few months, but that's another cool project, right? You love the pom-poms. That is the ticket. I have an old BMX bike out in the garage. I could do this. Yes, Lori, definitely. Do it. Place it in front of the lawn and take a picture for us. And said, Reggie made me do it. Debbie, you don't know your home association would allow the bike. Just picturing hubby's face if I did that to his bike. A form of terrorism. All right. Well, so we've pretty much covered some very interesting points in the history and development of crochet as we know it. You know, it's never really gone away, but today crochet is having a big renaissance. You know, it's on all the runways, Dior, Dolce & Gabbana. It's a regular feature on all the catwalks. So I myself am very curious to find out what the next big development will be. And also how it will change the world of this art. Who knows? Maybe somewhere around the world in this very minute, someone is starting that something new, which will soon make its break into our life. Maybe it's even one of you guys. So we'll all just have to wait and see. Right? Reggie made me do it. Yeah, Jamie, we say, I mean, I get messages from people saying, I bought this and that yarn just because of you. And when my husband's asking, I'm going to tell him you told me. So definitely, Reggie made me do it is a thing here. It's an acceptable excuse for any yarn and crochet related extravaganza. You've been using the term yarn bombing wrong. I've been yarn bombing my family stuff that they leave laying around. Oh, there should be a name for that, Jamie. We should come up with a name for that. Lori will add it to page 735 of her Project You Want to Do notebook. I do need to have stickers made. Reggie made me do it. I have some very recent crochet on the runway pictures that I gathered for something else. So you guys are interested in seeing any of those? Catherine says, it's fun to see the evolution. Still wondering how anyone ever came up with knitting. Crochet makes sense, but using 2 sticks not as much. Yeah, Reggie made me do it stickers. I'm on it. You couldn't find the article you mentioned, might have bookmarked in her phone, but found this one. Not as good, but gives some ideas if someone wants to copy the idea. If you tried to put a link in the chat, it would not appear because you're not a moderator. So what you can do is you can either post it on the Facebook group or send it to me by email and I will edit it into the description box. But people who are not moderators cannot put links in the chat. All right, so I'll show you guys some crochet runway pictures. Wait. So let's start with Dolce & Gabbana. Look at that one. So this is now in fashion. It's like spring fashion week. Yes, Catherine. Oh, you can put anything you want in the chat. You can also erase anything you want from the chat or anyone you want. You have so much control. I can totally imagine you doing a mean laugh right now. But look at that dress. I mean, that the top is pretty much granny hexagons. And the bottom is like drop stitch. So it's like high-end, it looks gorgeous, but when you break it down to parts, this is not that hard to make. It has a beautiful movement, and I think that's probably the drop stitch because there's a lot of like airiness to the skirt and also the fringe on the bottom. Yes, it's all crochet. It's let me see if I can probably, I don't know if you can see this way. Maybe you can see it better now. So the top is like circles made into hexagons and pentagons and then sewn together. And the bottom is like drop stitches, which is pretty much like triple, treble, how are they called? Will you like wrap the hook around 5 or 6 times with every stitch and then do 2 rows of only single crochet, and then you do it again and then 2 rows of single crochet, and then there's fringe at the bottom. Simplicity in long garments, yes. What material it is? Must be something plant-based. Spring fashion. Something like maybe viscose, linen, bamboo. Tencel will drape that way too. Tencel will actually also be shiny that way. So then let's show you one more. If you guys are liking it. That's another Dolce. Look at that one. Can you see the stitches? I'm not sure if you guys can see it very well. It's like rows of fans, then rows of V-stitch, then rows of single crochet chain one, single crochet chain one, double crochet chain one, double crochet chain one, then fans again, then V-stitches again. Yeah, linen is, yeah, that can very well be linen. In the meantime, I'm going to get the link from last week's Yarniversity. So I hope you guys all went back and commented and answered the question. A bit busy for me, but wow, the work. Yeah. Yeah. But it's like, you know, this is like couture fashion, you know. It's not something someone would actually wear on the street unless they're maybe, I don't know, Lady Gaga. You really like it, couldn't wear it, but it's very 60s and looking. Yeah. Hope they keep bringing crochet into modern fashion. I hope so too. Show you one more. I have one that's Stella McCartney. Look at that one. Isn't that gorgeous? I mean, let me make it a little bigger for you guys so that you can see the stitches up close. That is just amazing work. That could be dimmed down in some beige and white, and it would be more wearable in normal life. Yes, Lacey, I agree. Right? That is stunning. Stunning. Well, she's a model, so she's probably not wearing anything underneath, but like with a little white slip underneath it, it's gorgeous. Like, look at her. She's totally rocking it. That is just gorgeous. Right, well, you guys, gonna bring you guys back to me. And I'm going to start by, wait a second. I understand not being able to post links, but you can find it if you Google Knitted Village UK. Okay, I will. I will look it up and I will post it for everyone on the Facebook group. So just gonna get real quick the prize from last week. So let me remind you all. So the prize for the winner that I'm going to pull now from last week's Yarniversity was this set of minis, pink ombre, 100% acrylic, 5 times 10 grams, each of them 25 meters. So that set of minis. And we had the bracelet, the silver bracelet. It can be, the size can be adjusted, and it has a pair of scissors on it. And this bag full of different tags to sew on your project that say handmade and made with love. So that is the prize, and I am going to take you guys with me to the YouTube random comment picker. And 1 second. Let me pink you out. So I already filtered duplicate comments, and we have 23 comments. And I just want to remind you all that once we know who the winner is, the winner has to contact me via email and write me the address and all the details that where you would like to have your prize shipped. Now I need full name and full address. Please don't assume that I know which country you live in. And also, I do request that you try to contact me using the same email address that you do for your user on YouTube, so that it is easier for you to verify that you're the same person. If you use a different email address, I will have to go through a short verification process before I can send you out your prize. But even if I already have your address, even if we know each other, even if we talk on a daily basis, please write me an email to claim your prize. Otherwise, it will be forfeited. So let's find out who is the winner of last week. And it's Granny D, and she says, when I went to Aspen, Colorado years ago, we went to the cutest little yarn shop and I bought a possum blend yarn. Wish I knew where it was now. May have to order some. Darn Good Yarn has some very different yarns like banana fiber. Love using novelty yarns. Well, D, you are the winner, so don't forget to write me an email and I will ship your prize to you. Congratulations! Yay, congrats to D, and cheers to D, my last sip of the day. Oh my god, this has been so much fun, and I drank my entire yarn glass. Congratulations to Dee. I don't know if she's still here. If she is not, then you guys are probably all heading to her live after here. So please let her know that she won and that she should contact me. I, as always, am first going to have dinner, and afterwards, if she's still on, I will join in, and if not, I probably fell asleep, and you guys will forgive me, but please tell her that I said hi. And that I sent her my love. Don't forget to come back to today's Yarniversity and comment down below to enter into the giveaway. Next week's Yarniversity will be on Saturday. There will be an announcement on both YouTube and the Facebook group, so that no one will miss that. And I hope that you guys enjoyed today's history lesson. I hope that you found it interesting. I hope that you enjoyed hanging out with me today. And there are a few interesting videos coming up this week, along with my joint live together with Catherine. There will be an announcement about that coming up. we are going to announce the winners of the Vestiary Vest Fest. So if you made a vest for the Vestiary Vest Fest and haven't posted it yet, this is your very last reminder, because tonight at midnight it is closed and any entry after that will not be counted. Maribel says she wants the Catherine's kitty. I totally get that. Right, I will say good night to you all. Maybe I will see you later at D, all depending on my dinner and falling asleep on the couch schedule. But like I said, please, if you head over to her live, don't forget to tell her that she had won and that she should contact me to get her prize. I did not see in the comments if she commented or not, so I'm not sure if she's still here or not, but be sure to let her know. I know many of you will be there. And please give her my love and tell her I said hi. I'm going to leave the chat running a little while longer so that everyone can say goodbye to everybody. And I hope I will catch you guys all later this week. So thank you all very, very much for being here. And I will see you next time. Bye.